Hello, I'm Pastor Roland. Welcome to Talk to a Pastor Radio. Let's take a call. Here comes a call from Houston, Texas, I think.
Hi, my name is Caleb. I'm calling in from Houston, Texas. I kind of had a bit of a question for you. I'm sort of having difficulty sticking with the plan that God wants me to live. I'm constantly falling back in and out again on God's plan and continuously falling back into the old habits, and I'm just having a lot of difficulty staying with where I need to be. And I just want to know if you had any info or any insight that could kind of help me push myself back into the right path and stay there.
Good question. Let's talk about it. You know, that's the story of everybody, really. Let's be honest. People keep falling off, getting off track, falling off the wagon, messing up, doing things that we know we shouldn't be doing or we'd rather not do, things that are wrong, and we don't want to do them, but we keep doing them anyway. And we struggle with them, and then we do them anyway. But let's see if we can dig a little deeper, a little bit deeper. There is a real thing called being born again. Christ spoke of it. And it happens. Okay? Not for everybody, but for some people. But it's a thing of God, not of man. Okay? So if the hand of man is involved, then it's not of God. Okay? So the whole thing that we need to do, okay, here's a couple of things that we all need to do. First of all, you have to see that getting better or pleasing God, doing God's will, being a better person, it's something between the soul and its maker. It's between you and God. Okay? And for that reason, there's no, other than Christ, okay, there's no other middleman involved. The best that somebody in the world can do, the best that someone in the world can do is speak the truth in such a way that you wake up. See, there's not much more they can do for you. And if they try to do more than that for you, they end up interfering with, messing with the delicate relationship between the soul and its maker. So in some ways, a person is almost better off never to have even heard anything about anything. Okay? And then to have it all happen by the hand of God. Okay? Which is the way it's going to happen anyway, despite all the interfering, despite everything, for those people who are called of God. Christ said, none can come to me unless my Father draw them. See? So, whatever happened in the past, okay, let's put it this way. Whatever happened in the past, happened in the past. Whatever you did, whatever you said, whatever rituals you had when you were a little child or a teen or a younger person, okay, well, that's kind of water under the bridge. So now is now. And also the things that you've done wrong, whatever they may be, they're also in the past. So that's also water under the bridge. Now what you need to do is to make yourself available for God to do with you as He will. Okay? And the best way you can do that is to stop struggling with your own issues and trying to save yourself. Stop trying to put on a show for God or for anyone else. Okay? Because He knows. You know, it says in the Bible, God knows what we want before we even ask. Okay? So you don't have to put on a show for him. Okay? Just go about your business. Do your duty. If you're a husband, and go to work and be there for your wife and your kids. If you're not married, then go to work. Or if you're not working, learn a trade. Start a career. Find a job. Get started with building a life. Become established. Okay? And then on a day-to-day basis, do the best you can, so to speak. In other words, if you can do a kindness for someone, then do it. If you can't, then don't do it. Okay? Be honest with people. Straightforward. Don't lie to them. Be forthright. Okay? And if there's something to be done, then do it because you see that it's the right thing to do or the wise thing to do. Just do it for that reason, for no other reason, for the sheer joy of seeing that you're doing the right thing. Not to make an impression on people, not to prove something. See? And if you see that you don't do something for some reason, let's say you're a coward. You could have said something, but you clam up. Or you're afraid of making waves. Or you're a people pleaser. You don't want to rock the boat. Okay? Well, obviously you don't want to tell your boss off. You tell your boss off, you're going to get fired. You don't want to do that. But there are times, although discretion is needed, but there are times when you should say something. But most of the time we don't because we're cowards. We're fearful. We're timid. We don't want to rock the boat. We want peace. We don't want to have to face to go out of our way. See, to do something, and then have people not like us. See. So if you see that about yourself, then just see it. Okay, don't deny it. Just see it. Don't struggle with it. Don't try to make yourself good. Just see that that's the case. If you're being phony with someone, then just see it. See that you're being phony. Okay? If you can apologize and say, I'm sorry, that wasn't honest. Let me say it again. This time, let me say it honestly. That's good. But if not, then you can't always apologize to everyone, especially to strangers. But just see that you were phony, okay? And if you don't want to do the right thing, you just see that you really don't. See? You just don't. Or there's something you do. Here's another thing. See, we acquire so much false guilt in this world. Like we should study, or we should be reading more, or we should be going to see Aunt, or we should be doing this, or we should clean our room, or we should wash our car, or we should recycle. See, we have all of these things. Okay, if you don't feel like doing it, then just don't do it. Okay? Just don't. Or maybe feel is not the right word. Maybe if it just doesn't come to you to do it, then just don't do it. A lot of times we force ourselves to do things that we really don't even have to do. We acquire so much false guilt and so many obligations. See, be a little bit more free, a little bit more spontaneous. See, we have a fallen nature that's selfish, okay, that tends to like lies and shy away from truth, and so on. So just see that, okay? Just see it. And if you're sorry for something that you've done wrong, then okay. But if you're not sorry, then don't be sorry. Don't try to make yourself sorry. Ultimately, being sorry is also a thing of God. See, repentance. See, you can't repent yourself. God repents you. Okay. So, do you see what I've been kind of getting at? What I'm getting at is that you need to stand back from yourself, mentally stand back, and just go through life and do your duty and do work and have recreation and talk to people and do everything that you do, but with a little bit of objectivity. See, so it's almost like you can observe yourself doing things. Okay, sometimes you don't know why you did it. What did I do that for? Okay, but just see that. Other times, if you do something nice for someone, well then, You can see that, okay, and then don't puff up with pride and think you're a wonderful person or something. Just do the right thing and then let it go. So be more spontaneous and more observant. More spontaneous and more observant. Okay. Now, and then wait, and thus you are waiting upon God. See, you're not trying to save yourself. You're not trying to make yourself look good. You're not being a phony. You're not trying to put on airs. You're not putting on a show for God. You're not pretending. See? And if you're not sure about something, then you're not sure. Okay? So if you're not sure that you're saved, you're not sure that you believe this or that, or you're not sure if this or that is true, or just see that. Okay? You're not sure. Maybe one day you will be sure. See, it's better not to be sure and to just honestly say, I really don't know, I'm not sure. That's much better than to make some statement and then have to stand by that statement, even if it's not true. See, that becomes a block. Now, the other thing to watch out for is resentment. A lot of our falls in life. See, what I'm doing is I'm making it so you're more spontaneous, you're more observant, you have objectivity, and that's where the meditation helps. It helps you to be able to stand back and observe yourself and other people without becoming emotional about what you see. If you see you messed up, then just see it, but don't resent yourself for it. Don't become angry at yourself. See, there's two emotions. There's two things. One is messing up, and then the other one is getting angry at yourself. If you see that you're afraid of something, well, see it, but then don't resent yourself for that. Okay? If you see that you're angry at someone, then see that you're angry, but don't add anger to it by being angry at yourself or angry at them for making you angry. You see what I mean? Don't add that second layer on. Just observe. Whatever is there to see, just see it. And that way, see, you're kind of making yourself ready for God. Okay? So if He has some plan for you, if He has something for you to do, if He wants to begin drawing you near, and when that will happen, I can't say, then it will happen, and it'll be of Him and not of you. It won't be the hand of man won't be in it, and it's someone else's hand or your hand. See, it'll just come out of nowhere. One day, you're going about your business, and all of a sudden you realize that you resented your dad. See, I'm just making something up, but this is very common. You just see that you hated your dad. See, because he wasn't there for you, or he criticized you, or he was, for whatever reason. Well, you just see that. Now you're sorry when you see it. Because you probably do in some way have a soft spot for your dad, okay? But on the other hand, you hated him for some reason. Or he wasn't cool like other kids' dads, or there was some reason. Now you see that, and all of a sudden you see it in such a way that you regret seeing it. It makes you sad to see that, okay? So you see it, and you realize that you were selfish, and also you were judgmental. You didn't know the whole story. See, maybe now you're older. Now that you're a man, you see that your dad wasn't deliberately being cold or deliberately rejecting you or deliberately not being there for you. He was doing the best he could. There's something missing. Someone had done him in when he was a little child. Someone had been cruel to him, maybe. Or, see? So now you can forgive. Okay? You can let it go. But you have to see your own wrong, and then you're sorry for it. It's painful. Maybe you cry some tears or sob. Okay? But you're glad to come clean. Okay? Well, that may be the first touch of God upon your life right there. See? Because it does begin with repentance, but you can't make it happen. Don't anticipate it. That's why I say just go about your business. Go about your life. And you can hope, see, that something good will happen. You might even suspect that it will, but just have it as a delicate hope, see, and just leave it at that, and then just do what you can. And that way you won't be doing things for some ulterior motive. See, you won't be doing them so you can make a good impression on God or anyone else. So just if you see something that needs to be done, then just do it. Okay? And then don't expect gratitude from others. Just do it. And then let it go. And then go on to the next thing. See? Give away. Let it go. Okay. Now the other thing I wanted to mention is that has to be mentioned, that is resentment. That's the thing to watch out for. Now originally the question was, how to keep from messing up. Falling off the wagon, getting off track, see, going back to the same old, that sort of thing. Well, I have to tell you that messing up, going back to the same old, often is connected with resentment. See, resentment is a very subtle emotion over which you have control. And what it does is it severs the soul from being centered. It severs you from your own ground of being, your own inner ground of good from God. And the moment you become resentful, you're just a little ego, a selfish, blaming, judgmental, defensive, angry ego standing there, okay? And separated from the inner good, your inner ground of being. Okay? And so what happens then is that as this little ego, then you do something. You say something, you do something, and it's always wrong. See, it's wrong, or the timing's off, or it's phony, or it's always wrong. Never quite right. Then afterwards you feel guilty. Guilty for what you did, guilty for the resentment, because resentment is wrong. Okay? And so now there's this anxiety, this guilt, this angst, okay, this nervousness, this uneasiness, this tension from the resentment and the anger and the hostility, see, and thinking about it over and over, see, and you become tense and nervous. So then what happens then? Well, then you crave relief. You crave relief from the tension, and you also crave relief from the guilt, see. And so you want to escape from truth. You want to escape from God's light of truth, from objectivity. Escape. You don't want to see your own wrong, your own weakness, your own inadequacy. See, you don't want to see it. And so then you reach for something that will dull your consciousness, or that will carry you away from the present moment in God's light. So you escape into daydreams or fantasy, thinking about the past or the future. And then, lost in that state, you make more mistakes. Or you escape into video games, or into alcohol, or into marijuana, or into pleasure, or into food, or bury yourself in work, or sports, or, see? Anything to take you away from God's light. But where you need to be is in God's light, where you see the truth about yourself, where you're in the present moment, closer to God and His light. You see? So now do you see how resentment causes us to fail? It causes us to mess up. Because when we're resentful, we don't have wisdom. We don't have love. We don't have understanding, because we're separated from the source of love and understanding. See? So, therefore, whatever you do, it backfires. Even if you technically say the correct thing to your partner or to your kids, the resentment all changes it. Changes everything about it. And then the other thing is having seen that not wanting to see that we've messed up, not wanting to admit that and see it in the light and bear the pain of seeing it, then we want to escape from God's light. And that's when we reach for the marijuana or the pleasure or the video game or the cigarette or, see, the trivia, the television, the music, whatever it is that will comfort us and ferret us away. And we can even reach for a false religion. See, a false religion that tells you that you're okay the way you are, and comforts you. False comfort, see, or to friends with their false comfort. So false comfort and escape is what we want. But that's not what you need. What you need is to stay in the present. Okay? So if you've been escaping, which you undoubtedly have, that's what 99.9% of people do, then just see it. If you see it, then see it. Okay? And just admit it. Don't try to change yourself. Just admit that that's the way it is, okay? And then wait upon God. Try the meditation. Meditation helps you to get back into, to become recentered in the present, closer to God's light, a little bit objective. It does all those things very simply in like 6 minutes. The free meditation that I have, so you could give that a try. Okay? And then just sort of have the attitude that, you want to be a better person, but you see that you're messing up and say, well, God, here I am, sort of, say. And, I keep messing up, but I can't fix myself. So you're going to have to help me. Something like that. Okay? My name is Pastor Rowan.